Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Daily Lessons podcast. This is going to be episode number 5. This is Yusha, of course. If you're liking this content, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. If you're listening to this on Spotify, just real quick, go on YouTube, hit subscribe on my channel, and then, just continue driving. But then again, please don't use your phone and drive. Either way, though, I think we have a really exciting topic. We're going to go back into history for a little bit. And we're going to talk about a household name that basically everybody knows, Disney. Now, I'm not talking about the theme park. I'm not talking about Disney Channel. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about the originator of Disney himself, Walt Disney, the man, the myth, the legend. Okay? Oh, God, excuse me. Okay, so everybody knows Walt Disney, how he got his start. How he was, first of all, he was rejected a lot of times as well from banks, but eventually he was put on the map as an animator, and guess what put him on the map? Mickey Mouse, right? No, well, technically still correct if you did guess Mickey Mouse, but it was Steamboat Willie. Now, Steamboat Willie was just the first iteration of Mickey Mouse himself, but Mickey Mouse's original name actually was Steamboat Willie. Now, Steamboat Willie was invented in sometime around 1928. I know, it's about to be 100 years. Holy crap. That's probably why Mickey Mouse is actually getting into public domain. But that's a topic for another day, right? So Steamboat Willie put Walt Disney on the map as an animator, right? He put out hundreds of thousands of hours of film with Steamboat Willie. Now, he was obviously well known. He was world renowned as this animator. Everybody loved Steamboat Willie and everybody loved Disney animations, right? Now, there's one thing to be known and to be a great animator, but there's another thing to actually run an animation studio and actually be a great businessman. Now, Steamboat Willie was a really huge success in people's households, and everybody loves Steamboat Willie just like everybody loves Mickey Mouse today. But the problem was that Walt Disney wasn't really selling that much. He wasn't making that much money, and he had a lot of debt because of the studios, right? He had a lot of trouble just keeping himself and the studio itself above water. That all really just changed because of one move that he made, and that was producing Snow White. Now, we all know Snow White today. Obviously, Snow White came out in 1938, and we still see that we still see that movie on Disney Channel. We still see it coming out on DVDs, on Blu-rays, in 3D, and there's so many different iterations of just Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs out there in the world as well. The reason why Snow White changed Walt Disney is because it was a massive and successful business hit, okay? In 1938, it earned $8 million in the first 6 months that it actually came out. Now, $8 million is still a lot of money today, but just imagine that like 100 years ago. That's an insane amount of money, okay? Because of that one movie, because of that 83 minutes of Snow White, Walt Disney was able to pay off all of his debts from the studios, from different banks for the studios itself, and it completely transformed Disney Studios itself, okay? Key employees were given retention bonuses. They actually purchased a new state-of-the-art studio in Burbank, where they still are today. I actually don't know where Burbank is, but we'll excuse that fact for right now. And obviously, Walt Disney got an Oscar for Snow White, and it completely changed him, and it turned him into a full-blown celebrity, known worldwide. And that's where we see the Disney of today, with the theme parks, with the Disney Channel, and just this whole behemoth that is out there. Now, what can we learn from this, okay? Am I just telling you guys a story about how Walt Disney succeeded? Well, no. I'm trying to explain to you that Walt Disney actually had to produce several hundred hours worth of film before he got his first massive hit, okay? He had to produce hundreds of hours of films, of animations, of, just using Steamboat Willie, and probably he created all these other characters that have been in existence. But only 83 minutes actually mattered, and that is what made him a success. That is what just propelled him into financial success itself. He was already successful as an animator. He just wasn't making any money. Now, we need to go ahead and we actually need to keep this in mind whenever we're thinking about ourselves, right? You might be going door to door. You might be trying to sell somebody something, and you've hit 10 houses today and it hasn't worked out, right? Maybe you need to hit 20, maybe 30, but that one person is probably all you need to at least break even or make a profit on the product that you're trying to sell. Obviously, nobody really goes door to door selling anymore, but I'm just saying that as a thought. You need to keep on going, because most of the time you're probably not that far away from succeeding itself. Okay, you don't know when you're gonna hit the diamonds or the gold mine. I know everybody's probably thinking about that meme where the guy's like trying to mine and he gives up right before he hits the jackpot. That's essentially what I'm trying to say, that you cannot give up until you hit those 83 minutes of Snow White. Essentially, you might be working on something for 100 something hours, but it's not going to work out until you hit the last hour. But you need to put in that work first, and then you'll actually get the success, the financial success that you've been craving for. It goes with the same principle of if you create a YouTube channel, or if you're trying to understand a math problem, right? Most of the success, like this moment of eureka that occurs, typically happens like all at once, right? Everybody sees the overnight successes and whatnot, but it's probably an accumulation of things that they actually had to do day in and day out and just be consistent with it. So whether it just be developing a YouTube channel, right? Like this one right here. I'm on episode 5 right now. I'm getting like 10 views a day, right? It's fine, because I don't know when my Snow White moment is actually going to happen, but I know when it does, everybody's going to have like this entire backlog of content to actually look back at, and they can eventually see that, like, man, I put in the work, so obviously I deserve the financial success that I'm getting. You need to make sure that you're putting in the work as well, so when your Snow White moment happens, nobody can ever say that you're financial success. Nobody can ever say that you're an overnight success, that you didn't deserve it. They might still say it, but it's not going to be valid, right? Because not everybody's opinion is valid. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that you get your Snow White moment real soon as well. And make sure to hit that like button and hit subscribe on the channel as well. And obviously, if you're listening on Spotify, whenever you get a chance, go on YouTube, go on my YouTube channel, which is obviously linked down as well in the description, and hit subscribe for me. It helps me out tremendously, and that's probably the only thing that I'm ever going to ask from you, at least for now. I hope you have a great day. This is Yusha signing off. Take care.